With all due respect, I don't have pity for you black niggas. That's the way I feel. Screaming Black Lives Matter, all the black guys rather be deadbeats than pay your bills. Yelling nigga this and nigga that. Call everybody nigga and get a nigga mad. As soon as I say nigga, then everyone react and wanna swing at me and call me racist cause I ain't black. Well, pound that then. Talking about slavery like you was around back then. Like you was picking cotton off the fucking ground back then. Like you was on the plantation getting down back then. Alright, look. I see a black man aiming his gun, but I'd rather see a black man claiming his son. And I don't mean just for one day and you done. I mean, you still trapped in a rut. And I work my ass off and pay my taxes for what? So you can keep living on free government assistance, food stamps for your children, but you still trying to sell them for some weed and some liquor or a fucking babysitter while you party on the road cause you ain't got no fucking goals? You already late. You motherfuckers need to get your damn priorities straight. Wait. It's like you proud to be fake, but you lazy as fuck. And you rather sell drugs and get a job and be straight, and then you turn around and complain about the...
From the author of The Perfect Love comes the panel discussion, What is Causing Our Love? It's Good Morning Black People with your host, Morgan Rees, author, podcasting, online personality. Good Morning Black People, discussing social views, today's news, and interviews. Subscribe today at YouTube at Good Morning Black People.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Good Morning Black People, Morgan Rees, and I am your fantastic host, Morgan Rees. I have an awesome exclusive interview today, guys. Tonight, this morning, whatever time you're watching this, I have the one and only Lester Sir Pace, what used to be called from once upon a time back in the day. Lester Pace is the founder and CEO of Setting the Pace Promotions, along with now being RocNation's newest SVP of Promotions. Amazing tidbit, his last name describes his career and resume in a nutshell. Positive attitude changes everything. I believe this should be a motto for all things life. Lester enjoyed sponsoring and party promotions. He began his extensive career as a 19-year-old intern of KTSU 90.9 in Houston. In 1991, he became an on-air DJ and radio personality of KBXX 97.9. Later, Lester was appointed in the Southwest Promotions Manager for Rap-A-Lot Records, then on to Mid-South Regional Manager for Interscope Records. And as DJ on air as an air radio personality at KBXX 97.9. Later, Lester was appointed in the Southwest Promotions for Rap-A-Lot Records, then on to Mid-South Regional for Interscope Records. Lester has been influential as asset who has helped move forward amazing artists such as Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Young Jeezy, and Yo Gotti. Now with his impeccable work in the music industry, Lester is the major manager of a newest new and phenomenon, J Howell. While working at RocNation and with his new artists, along with many other projects, Lester took out the time to still manage to take out the time to come on my show to celebrate hip-hop's 50th and my 50th birthday. After my intro, please join me in welcoming this once-in-a-lifetime interview with my inspiring guest, Lester Pace. Hello, Lester. How you doing?
How you doing?
I am great. Again, welcome to my show, everyone. This is Good Morning Black People with Morgan Rees. I'm your fantastic, amazing host, Morgan Rees, and I have my exclusive interview with the one and only, the humble Lester Pace. Lester, I would like to say thank you again for taking out the time out of your busy schedule to come and be on my show.
Thank you, Morgan. I'm glad to be here. I know we've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes to make this happen. So the fact that we're able to make it happen, I'm glad I could be here and converse with you.
I appreciate that. It's nothing but God's grace. I am so grateful for you taking out the time. I know you're a really busy man, so we're going to try to not still keep you too long because I know you're busy right now.
Yeah,
so we're going to talk about hip hop. We're about to jump in this right now because, you know, I can't believe I'm about to be the same age as hip hop. I know originally hip hop started in 1970, but no one didn't really recognize it until 73 when the one and only DJ Kool Herc just got nominated to the inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. How did you get into that mix and put yourself in there? Because I don't know much about Houston. All I know is New York and Philly. So how did Houston come into all that little bag that you created?
We got in the game. I was in high school. I finished in 1983, but in around 1980, 81, me and a couple of friends of mine, we got into hip hop and we started rapping. Called ourselves a friend of mine by the name of Anthony Watson and Melvin D. Watt started a group. We used to call ourselves the CC Gang, and so we started rapping in some of the school talent shows. So I used to sit at home back in the day and listen to, if you want to see Jimmy Spicer, Sugar Hill Gang, and all them. And then I used to, just rap those lyrics. And then we started doing our own thing. So at that time in high school, I played football. But when I got to play football, I worked at McDonald's. And so when I worked at McDonald's, I used to play on the drive-through, and I used to use my DJ voice. You know how back then, how they used to talk, Lester Pays live.
Yes.
I used that radio voice. And so what happened, they had me start doing the morning announcements at the school in high school. And so one of the ladies at the school asked me if I ever thought about being a professional disc jockey. And she turned me on to this lady, Pam Collins, at the radio station KTSU. So they had a show that they had called Kids Jam. And what happened every Saturday, it was high school, just kids running the radio stations from Saturdays from 10 to 2. So I started going up there every Saturday at 10 to 2. And we kind of, Pam was teaching us how to be disc jockeys. We ran the board, played the music and everything. So for about 4 to 5 months, I would go up there. But at that time, they were only playing R&B music. They weren't playing no hip hop music. It was just Banachar, Ray Parker Jr. and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
The guy who normally DJ'd, everybody was out at a parade that TSU was having. And so at that time, I was the only jock there. So I used to always bring my 40 or 50 records, never got a chance to play them because they was all hip hop. So I put the record on the radio and I kept playing hip hop, and then the program director, and most people know they have a little bat phone or a red phone started flashing. I pick it up and Pam told me, Lester, take that mess off. So
that's like the old school for now.
R&B stuff, and then all of a sudden I slip another rap record and then another one, and then she'll call again and tell me quit playing. So each week that went on. So finally, it's a young lady by the name of Tammy McCall. Matter of fact, she works for Stevie Wonder radio station right now, who was on the show with us at the time. Tammy would had a show called Be Yourself, doing the Kids Jam segment. So during that segment from 12 to 1, they would talk about problems that kids were having. So it was like a talk segment. So finally, one Saturday, Pam said she'll let us go on the radio and ask the people whether they want to hear more R&B or hip hop. So we took the votes from 12 to 1, and hip hop won. Blew it out the water. And so she said, Lester, do your thing, and I just went crazy on the radio. So Kids Jam became a staple in the Houston community because people would get up on Saturday mornings from 10 to 2 and record us and play all those music, and it broke a lot of matter of fact, Scarface got his career started there. UGK, a lot of the big name artists that came out of Houston, that's where they first got their music played. Matter of fact, we did we did a reunion last year, and Scarface, Bun B, a lot of the local Houston acts came and for the show. So we're going to do it every year for that. So it was that point that all the music that we got, Run DMC came back by the day because that was the only time that you ever had a chance, Houdini, that's the only chance that you had a chance to really get your music played. And the funny thing about there, I used to leave from the radio station and go to this place called Sound Waves. And at that time, there's a guy by the name of Carlos and also DJ Premier who worked at that at that record store. And me and Premier went to college together at Prairie View. I used to DJ at that time. Premier. His family stayed there, and he wasn't doing all the things he knew to do back then. So it has a lot of people, a lot of history that came through there from that side. So that's how started, and I will always put that staple that hip hop started right there in KTSU as far as radio is concerned.
Wow. And here we thought as New Yorkers, us Yankees thought, oh yeah, it started in New York, Brooklyn, we was doing our thing.
No. New York started. We just started. We followed everything that New York.
Got it.
Every Saturday, I would always go to the record stores to buy music, and anything that came that had Tommy Boy, Profile records. I didn't care what it was. I just wanted those records because back then they wouldn't even play the records. So you just have to look at the covers, by the name and everything like that.
Right. Do we even have records anymore? Because I went to the record store and I have not seen any more records. And I'm like, do we even do that anymore besides in the club?
Vinyl is coming back more for.
Okay.
People are buying it as collector's items and stuff like like even with a lot of artists now, they're pressing the vinyl up, and then if you go to their websites or where they sell their merchandise, you probably can pick up a lot of that, those things, because people don't even like to play it. They like to hold on it just as a collector's item.
Right. But I'm going to tell you this little tidbit. I actually had a set of records and from a previous chapter, and because I was upset with doing that previous chapter, I tossed it. I tossed it.
You just threw the money out the window.
I did, Lester. I was like, they'll be all right. They don't need them anyway. I'll pay for them anyway, so don't even matter. They had the turntables, everything. I gave the turntables away.
I hope they weren't those 1200s.
They were. Don't shh. That's between us, but the world now.
Wow. That person said that.
Well, now let's see how I felt for all those years doing that chapter.
Wow.
But yeah, I had to share that story. They're probably watching this now like, oh, I knew it. You told me you gave him to the bookstore. No, I didn't. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
You were doing charity work. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. It didn't even affect nobody but the trash.
You wanted to give somebody much more that would be more fortunate for it. I understand.
Yeah, I did. So, when I tell you, I'm old school and I'm new school. So I was in the 90s. I had all three of my kids in the 90s. So my oldest just turned 32. Okay. And my son's 30 and my youngest is 26. So I did a little bit of both of the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, because you are the manager of J. Howe and you manage a lot of other great, amazing artists. Do you see the difference of the genre and the caliber of music back in the 70s up until now, the 2000s? In my opinion, and no shade against the new artists these days, most of them sound like they're eating a microphone. You can't understand nothing they say, and it's like that you had the same beat, just different words. Is that what you was seeing?
I agree with you, and I had to sometimes take a step back because I have to look back when I started hip hop. My mom done told me that wasn't real music. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's saying that rap stuff. Quit playing that rap stuff. It didn't have anything. And so now I have to look at the new generation and let them have their time in their music or what they do. Even though I may not like a lot of it, like you said, I don't understand a lot of it, but it's all of a sudden, if you hear it enough and they play it enough, you'll like it. You know what I'm saying?
After a while, you like, okay, I guess I can get with that. Wow. Okay.
So it's just, but I think what it is, the music don't have the substance and the feelings that we could feel back in the day. When you hear a record or you're listening to a Quiet Storm, you hear these records that touch your heart and make people cry and that you can really relate to. You know what I'm saying?
You really telling my age now. You talking about the Quiet Storm, Lester. Right. I used to fall asleep to that every night on Pi 99 in Philly. Pi 99 and WDAS, the Quiet Storm. Right. So you're really telling your age and my age.
Yeah, and even the rap stuff that came out in the early, they had messages to them. You know what I'm saying? Things that we can relate to. And
right.
Now, so you have certain records, and it's just a matter of just a time, and everything I think comes back around. You start to see R&B start to pick up a little bit more and come back, and I think eventually.
Okay, well, I have a question. You probably not ready. You probably haven't heard of X's before. Give me your favorite 5 hip hop. Ready? Your favorite 5 hip
hop records.
Yes.
How about can I just do artists?
Don't matter. However you want to do it. Your choice. Okay. This your show.
I'm gonna go with Rakim. Okay. I got to get Tupac and Biggie. Okay. Um, one is artist I work out to his music every time in the gym is Ice Cube is one of mine. And then let me see who else I'm with. And I got to go with H-Town. I got to give Scarface.
we was good. I mean, Scarface was cool, but you know, Rakim, my man. I promise you. He came to concert where I live in Charlotte, and I promise you, I was Brooklyn all day. I was New York all day. Right. I think I was tired, but I was still woke. So you get your 5. I like your 5.
Yeah, those my 5. I had to throw a West Coast and I had to throw a Southern artist in there. I couldn't
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Man, people are thinking like I'm not H-Town. I still got to keep that H up.
So you've always done hip hop, or at what part of your journey, your career, where you started doing a little bit of both? Because I've seen some of your artists have hip hop,
only artists that
and R&B.
The only artist I have right now is Jay Howe for independent. The other artists that I work with on the label for RocNation that I work with right now. So like, congratulations. I want to give a shout out to Ombre. We just took our #1. You know, we got artists like Snow Allegra on there. And we got Kaylin for real. We got some artists that are coming up. And one thing I do love about working over at RocNation is like, we're not just signed. They don't just sign artists because of streaming. They sign artists who they believe that think they may have a career. You know what I'm saying? So it's like building from the block. And so that's one reason why taking Ombre's record #1 on the R&B chart a few weeks ago was very, I said, was a good feeling for me, because I took a lot of records #1, but to see this artist that we started off with from ground and worked that record for like 8 months at radio and to get a #1, so that was success. But yes, my career started like when I left high school. I started off at KTSU. Then I left KTSU and went and worked at a commercial radio station, which was KISS 98.5, where Steve Hegwood hired me there. Then I went over to 97.9 The Box. And then at that time, Jay Prince over Rap-A-Lot, who he's the one that put me in on a record side, because he gave me a job. He told me he thought I'd be good at marketing promotions, and he gave me a job. And if it wasn't for Jay Prince, it wouldn't be no Lester Pace.
Yeah, and that's why your last name has a great acronym to it. You know, positive attitude changes everything. And that's my journey.
I'll have to tell you the story behind that one day, but not on this, because the way I got it.
Well, don't worry, because I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to bring you back. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm going to bring you back. So I have a slogan this year. 2023 is all about me. And Lester, you are, to me, you have a humble spirit. You give people chances, and a lot of artists, when they get, or a lot of managers or people who get up to that upper echelon level, they forget about the little people. And my mom told me one time, she said, you know, God said, don't diminish small beginnings. And I see that you said that with RocNation, you're giving other people chances who, if they would have went to another record label or another record station or a manager, they wouldn't give them that opportunity. And I appreciate that about you.
Well, I got to give that to that credit to Sherry, my boss Sherry, and also Omar. They are the ones, you know, because I'm just on the radio marketing side. So what ends up happening, once they sign an artist, and we have these meetings every week, and once we got a record that's showing some traction, they'll bring the record to me and my staff, Big D and Resin, and then we go to radio and we do our thing and stuff from there. So that's what we do. So, but I love the fact that they give new artists and people who might not have the streams that most labels are looking for, that opportunity. And so the thing I like about doing my artist Jay Howe, what we've been able to work with him is I use this slogan, independent but major. So what we're doing is that I'm trying to build with him is he may be independent, but his look is going to look major. You know what I'm saying? It's going to look major. Like, so, and then another thing that I love is that what we did, we made him sign to himself. So that way, even for him and the producer, we started a label, JTP, Justin Teray and Pace. So what it does now, so nobody can say because I was managing him, there's a conflict of interest, because he signed to himself, and we all eat 33 and 30 off the record side. And then on the management side too, do the management side, so help building. So because a lot of times you have a conflict with a manager and a label, and the manager telling the label what he's not doing. So now that, so we don't have that discrepancy. And what it's been able to do for him, when I first started working with him, he was working 2 jobs. Now I don't like to try to push it like this, but now his streaming is doing so well that he's making between $12,000 and $15,000 a month. And so what I taught him to do, something when I worked with Yo Gotti, and which I learned this from Yo Gotti, was he take his most of his show money and reinvest it back into the company so he can do his marketing and promotions. So that's just the way I think a lot of artists should start doing. I have artists call me, Dan, if you're going to get a manager, get you a team. You can't do it without a team. If you don't have a team, then I don't think you're going to make this business. I don't care how great you are. You got to have a team. And then if you ain't got that investor, all your parties should come in, and then you know, and build, and then and see it come back. And then if you get to a certain status where you build it, now you can go get a major record label deal instead of going taking $500,000 or $2 million, and then a year or two is gone, and now you will never see another check from the label. Because guess what? People want to complain about the labels, but the label have sunk $3, $4, $5 million into you. Recoup that. So people want all the label do this, but guess what? When you go out to flying in those to all these places, staying in these hotels and doing all these things, all of that costs money. And what? The person's going to recoup. And in any business, you want to make 3 times of what you put out. If I spend 100, I expect to get 350 or 400,000 back. Okay, money that I spent. So you know, it's 2 sides. Everybody show the bad side of the labels, and then the other people's side the other part. But I think you should build something first for a label to have, and now you got something, and know that you're gonna make it. So that's the beauty part that I do like being on the record side and being in this position, even at RocNation right now.
Wow. Well, you put out a great point. When you said that the people at your label, at the radio station, I mean the label where you have a group of people, team people. So my motto at my job is teamwork make the dream work. So you have that same motto. And I remember my mom, before my dad passed, she said, your dad used to always say, God's going to always give you your people. So you guys learn how to mold your artists and have their people. So then when they get ready to get to that level, you've already given them the blueprint, the footprint that they need for their own success. And exactly. You have a great business acumen. I mean, an amazing business acumen. Not many managers or people in your field think like that. Everybody's so busy taking. Give me.
Well, exactly. And that's the problem. Like I tell people, I know a lot of people have labels, and every day the artists can't pay their rent. They can't do it. So they always calling me, you got to pay. I don't want to be nobody's daddy. Okay. I want you to be your own independent, be able to stand on yourself. And what I'm teaching my artists to do is, like I tell Jay all the time, I say in 3 years, you're going to be pulling out that black card paying for everything. You know what I'm saying? So I want him to be a brand. The brand is him. At the end of the day, we all are working for him. You're not working for me. We're working for you. As we build you up to that success, now you're getting him to understand the whole business side and the aspect of how to handle his own business.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to hold you much longer, but I want you to share one thing with the world. Anything that you would like to share, something motivating, something positive, something inspiring, because, you know, you are such a wise young man beyond your years. I promise you are. And you're sharing a lot with me, even in my new chapter, my new path, or where I'm at right now in my own business life. Is there anything that you would like to share with the world that would be something that they can take away and say, you know what?
Well,
that's great. Said that.
One thing I elaborate on is that I believe in health. I found out, I used to think about, everybody wants to be money, everybody want to have the success. But then I tell people, you go back and ask Steve Jobs from Apple, who's dead now, what would he take? What would he take all the money and all the riches he have, or his health? And health is more important to me than any of those things. So I'm always pushing health as well and learning new things about different things that are going. Nothing against doctors, and I don't want to knock anybody, whatever you do, but I believe that God put the higher source put a lot of natural products out here for us to do things to take care of ourselves. So that's one of the things I'm a big believer in. And then I never forget another person asked me, how do I define success for myself? And I define success as helping other people become successful. So it's not about me. And I look at it now, it's like I look around and I see people and they come up to me and say, hey, man, thanks. I mean, if it weren't for you, you put me in the business, or you did this and you did that. So then that made me wake up and say, okay, God may not want me to have multi-million-dollar stuff like that. But how many people have I touched and helped change to make them be, have a better life, or even a career in the music industry, or just a word of advice, or even giving people some health tips on some things. So that's all I care about. I don't have to be in a religion. I don't have to have anything to do, because I know one thing conquers everything: love. Love will conquer everything, and whether your religion it is, or da 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 da. So that's what I'm trying to do. So my whole goal for me, as I move forward in my life, is just love. I snap every now and then and stuff, but I have to always bring it back to love, because I know that's the journey that I'm having to. So when I can have that even keel and just be still through our turmoil.
Wow, man, amazing, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna make this one joke, and I know you probably heard this before. Anybody tell you look like Damon Dash? I was like, is that his uncle, his cousin?
Yeah.
And I looked at the pictures, and I was like, you know, like Damon Dash.
Yes, I've had. Yes, I've heard it. Yes, I got.
You say you're probably getting tired of it, huh?
But I definitely respect him and for what he's done in the culture of this business. So yes, I've heard it before. So that's not bad.
Well, you know what? That information you shared, I mean, love conquers all, as you said. God is love, or whoever you believe in, whoever your higher power is. And we have so much things going on in this world. People forget those 4 letters. They think about those other letters, but they never think about those 4 letters: love, LOVE.
Right.
That conquers everything and anything. Even when you're mad at somebody, as you said, you're not perfect, neither am I. But what you're sharing with us, and I promise you, this is part of my new journey. I appreciate that. If nobody else appreciates it, I appreciate that. You are an amazing young man. I definitely want to bring you back on my show again if you have the time. I know you're such a busy man. I look forward to being on your show soon.
Right. I got you going on one of my radio stations, and I'll get you hooked up on the other one. And any way I can help you to be successful, I'm here for it. Okay.
I am grateful and thankful for that. I really, truly appreciate that. Well, guys, you heard it here. Lester Pace, my one of a kind, extraordinary interview. When I tell you I'm a testament of God's grace, this is what God's grace looks like. Because everyone's questioning, everybody's asking, how did this happen? It wasn't me. It wasn't him. It wasn't my producer. It was the man upstairs, the one and only. Big G-O-D for me. For whoever believe in anything else, that's what I'm going to believe in all day, every day. Guys, thank y'all for joining my show. Lester, again, thank you. I appreciate you taking out the time of your busy schedule. I know you got some fun to have and some more trinkets and nuggets to share with other wise, young, and old men. Because, 50 years old, man. I'm at that door. I'm like, yo, I cannot believe I'm about to be 50.
Welcome to the club. We're glad you.
I'm waiting for my AARP card to come in the mail. Because I got discounts to use. I appreciate you taking the time for joining my show. Again, y'all, this is Morgan Rees, and welcome to my show, Good Morning Black People, Morgan Rees, with my amazing guest, Lester Pace. Thank you for taking out the time. Guys, you have an amazing rest of your day. This is Thankful Thoughtful Thursday. I am so blessed to be here. I am so blessed to be alive and to be able to see another year, 49 and a half, 55, oh, here I come. Hip hop. I promise you, I'm going to be jumping. I'm going to take my ibuprofen first, just in case.
All right.
Jumping with the hip. Airbnb rock him all day, paid in full. Thank you guys again.
Hey, we got a show coming up in Philadelphia with Jay House. You definitely come out.
Oh, send me that information. I'll be there.
Man, look on his page and find the date. I got you covered, okay?
I appreciate that, Lester. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you again for joining my show. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.